So welcome and welcome to this first and hopefully of many Office 365 education updates that both BSc Networks and Pugh are going to be running together. It's a great honour for myself to be able to work with Pugh and Jeffrey, Ewan and Chris within the team there to be able to share and to speak to you guys, both our customers, to be able to share what's going on in the Microsoft space. As I said, we'll probably keep this to about a half an hour, 45-minute session with you guys, hopefully asking any questions that you want to ask. If you do have any questions, please put them in the conversation panel, and I'll put a few gaps within the presentation for me to go back and have a look at those. If not, then you save them for the end, and maybe we'll turn on some audio, and you're more than welcome to speak up and to pass those out. So a bit of an introduction for myself. If I click through these slides, it should load up. So I'm Alex Pearce. I founded a company called BSc Networks, and we specialise in Office 365 for education. So we've worked with over a couple of million seats now in the UK to help make it more e-safety aware, or just migration work, or anything like that. So it's been an exciting roller coaster. I believe today is actually Office 365's birthday of 5 years. It's actually been 4 years since it became free from an education point of view. So there's been lots of good things that have come about of sorts. You can also see a few things there about the websites. My email address, if you ever want to email me, you're more than welcome to. And also I do a bit of blogging, and you may well see a few things on alexpearce.tech around classroom, around forms, school data sync, and a few different other things that are there. So let's go into what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be talking about Microsoft Classroom. So this is a new solution that's been added to Office 365 Education. It's only coming to education tenants as far as I'm aware. And it's going to give us a great opportunity to be able to do assignments within the cloud, on the browser, on the phone, and really take opportunity of what's available in the Office 365 stack. But really, you need to cut down a few things first and kind of explain what some of the technology that Microsoft are using within Office 365 to make classes that are available. So if I just show you, this is kind of what Classroom looks like. So when we logged in, we've got a couple of classes down this left-hand side. You can see a History 101. When we create them at first, they become inactive. They're classed as inactive, so students can't see them, and then you can put them into make them active and people see it. You've got this general assignments, as you can see in the middle section. You've got some announcements on the right-hand side, and we've also kind of got a navigation across the top. So very simple, looks nice and clear and crisp, and we'll get this up in a short while, and you'll see some live demos of it. But I also wanted to point out, you can probably see in a bit of a navigation just under history and under that class section, you've got assignments, you've got calendar, conversations, class notebook, and files. Now these all come through from what's called Office 365 groups. And so I wanted to start off by demonstrating to you what an Office 365 group is, what they look like, so then you know that you're going to get this within the class, as well as an assignments feature that's been built up alongside this technology. So an Office 365 group, again, this is free, it's still part of it, and many of you may well be using it already, but you will have them available to you in your tenant. I'll show you where they are in a short while. But what we've got, and kind of working from the bottom here and working back up, we've got Office 365 groups. We've got the ability to have distribution groups, security groups, and these are all created when an Office 365 group is created. And those are stored within Azure Active Directory, which is also where your usernames and your passwords, and that's what you authenticate to get into Office 365. Just jumping up to the top half into that purple section, you can see that it says it's got Outlook, we've got OneDrive, we've got Notebook, OneNote Notebook, we've got Skype, and also things like the Office co-authoring tools such as Word Online, Excel Online, PowerPoint Online, And I kind of already mentioned, as I said, the OneNote that's there. But within those, we actually get quite a few features. So we've got mail, and we're used to mail, and we get conversations. We've got calendars, we've got contacts and people, we've got the ability to do files. We've got video channels, and there's conversations, and we've got calendars, and it's kind of look through that they're all very similar. What Microsoft are doing for Microsoft Classroom is adding one more feature to this, which is that assignments part. And that's kind of what Office 365 Classroom is Office 365 group plus the ability to be able to create assignments around people who are in that group. Now, an Office 365 group also includes the ability to have these conversations and mail. So every user has to have a mailbox to be able to do this. Because it also includes files and SharePoint on OneDrive, they also have to have a SharePoint license as well. So if you've got the normal Office 365 education license, you're going to get these. If you've broken those down and you haven't assigned an Exchange license, an example, you won't be able to use groups, and obviously then you can't use Office 365 and Microsoft Classroom. What's important here is that we're not saying you can't use Office 365. We might just want to look at how we can lock down mail, so maybe a user can't email outside of that group or email externally out of the school. So it's not a matter of I can't use this because we're going to have email. It's a matter of what do we need to do to be able to manage email so they can't email other students or they can't email externally and puts disclaimer on. So it's kind of just working with the technology, but at the end we still need to ensure that we've got an Exchange and a SharePoint license as part of that. So just going into groups, and I'm going to give you a brief demo of this in a short while. So this is kind of where I've kind of broken it down a little bit more, and this is another one of those Microsoft kind of standard slides. So we've got that identity layer of Office 365, where we log in and it all goes off and it creates our Office 365 group, and it creates a distribution group. So we've got a place now where we can email directly into that group. We also have a mail, we have a calendar, and we also have the people contacts within that. So that's what we kind of see within these pillars. Going down, we've got Outlook, and we've also got calendar. So it's actually an Exchange shared calendar for everybody within those groups. We've got OneDrive for our files, we've got Notebook, Skype, and then we've got other technologies that can also be built. So Microsoft have done some work around dynamic CRM. We've got Delve, our search engine, to be able to go off, and soon when we're seeing features being added to Delve, which will help search and the searchability of files within our groups. And at some point we'll also see Yammer appearing from an Office 365. We've also got further SharePoint coming, and there are also lots of partners out there who can build on top of groups, as you will see in a later slide. So when you log into your Office 365, you will most likely see something very similar to this, which is your Outlook, and you've got your inbox, and you can see I've got a few items there. But down this left-hand side, under folders, we've also got groups. So you can see I've got a History 101 group, I've got Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. So this is where I'm just going to jump into and share my desktop so you guys can see a bit more of a live demo of it. So I'm just going to let that load. It says it's connecting. And if one or two people could just let me know when you can see our screen, and we've got a Chrome browser here with our Office 365 logon. Brilliant, thank you very much. So I've logged into Office 365, and you may well have noticed here, and I'm logged in as a teacher as it is, that I've got a new landing page. Microsoft are implementing all sorts of new changes all the time into Office 365, and this is one of those, is a new landing page. So I've got my apps really here on the front page, and I've also got some of my recent files for me to easily be able to go and navigate to those. Some of these are inside our groups and outside our classroom. Some of them are my OneDrive as an example. But as you can see, one of these in here is Classroom. And if I click on the app launcher, also known as the waffle, if you're familiar from that point of view, we can also see Classroom. So I'm going to select that, and it's going to load up Classroom. And you can see we've got some of our groups down here. We've got 10FB, we've got a History 101, and I created one for today called Pugh Class 101. But if I jump to my mail, so if I go to mail here within this, you'll be able to see here we've actually got a lot more Office 365 groups. And this is just kind of what we're going to focus on at the moment. So we've got that Pugh, we've got that History 101, that 10FB, but I've also got group 1, 2, and 3. So if I just go into group 1, for example, here, we have the ability to be able to do conversations. So this is kind of where, when we send an email to that distribution group, they appear within this section here. I can also say hello to this group. I can click on send. I can also do an attachment, upload an image into this. I can also send out a broadcast so it goes to everybody's inbox as well as just staying within this. So if you're familiar with public folders, it's a bit like a public folder. So I click on send and you can see it's now appeared within these conversations. And we've kind of got this conversation streak, a bit of a chat area you could say. So I can say I like that. I'm going to say hello and I'm going to @ and I've got an option and I can bring a few other people who I may want to be able to bring into this group as an example. I click on send and then they kind of get a notification. So we've got that chat kind of instance that's going on. We've also got calendar. So we've got I got a repeatable event, as you can see on here, and it's jumped into our calendar section within Office 365. So I can actually put in that I want both calendars to be showing. I mentioned that we've got files, so this is going to open up a new tab for me, and this is going to my SharePoint document library just for this item. At the moment it's only a document library, so I can see my group's worth of shared files that everybody can contribute on together. We've also got a notebook, which we'll go on to a little bit later, and we've also got connectors. And connectors is where we can bring in lots of different types of technologies into our group. So this can include maybe Twitter, we've got Zendesk in here, so there's all sorts of different ones in here. A lot of these, I have to admit, are a bit unfamiliar to me, but even just an RSS feed to be able to get a particular topic for the class and being able to brought these into the notifications of that conversation can be useful. That's kind of enough about groups, and I kind of really want to go back into Classroom and kind of say, well, this is the underlying technology, but we also have some other things that Microsoft have built. So as I've already mentioned, we're kind of now going to look at this assignments part. So we've got all these features. We've briefly just gone over groups and what we can do with them. But Microsoft have gone off and they've built classroom.microsoft.com. So it's built as their technical term is a next-gen portal. And this is kind of where they're going off and they're doing it. We're still in preview. They're updating it. I'm seeing quite a few updates kind of going through as I play with it more and more. I'm seeing different kind of things. So let's jump back into that. So I mentioned earlier on that this is kind of the landing page for Classroom. So that's at classroom.microsoft.com. And I'm kind of presented with 2 or 3 things. Just to reiterate, I'm logged in as a teacher at the moment. So I can see all my assignments that I've got across all my classes. Now you notice that actually I've got 10FB, History 101 and my Pugh 101, and I've got a few others here that are inactive. Now the important thing here, as I said, you didn't see Group 1, Group 2 or Group 3. That's because we have to create a Microsoft Classroom which creates an Office 365 group from here. We can't take an existing group and elevate that into a Microsoft Classroom. We have to start it off within Microsoft Classroom. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to create it and then we're going to go back and we're going to do some assignment work. So I've got another student that's logged in. So we'll go through some of the scenarios that we've got within here. So I'm going to click on New Class. And I've got this fly out on the right hand side. So you can see every class comes with an assignments area, file sharing, the OneNote class notebook, conversations and a calendar. So I'm going to give my class name. So let's give it English 101. We've also got a class ID, and that's going off and doing some checks to make sure that, you know what, that name's not taken, across the whole of Office 365, so like the distribution email address and the SharePoint URL. Nothing you ever need to worry about, but it's just kind of that's what it does. Click on done and that go off and create it. Now there are different sections within creating this, so it creates that kind of public folder, group conversation, it goes off and it creates the file section, and that can take a couple of minutes. So once this kind of done, and you can see kind of with the yellow bar at the top, it says once it's all available, we'll let you know. And what actually happens with the recent update I've seen is that this kind of just disappears at the very top. But while we're doing that, we'll set up and we'll add a few new other teachers and students. So we'll add a teacher. So I'm going to add Alan. So I should have now two students that are in there. And then two teachers, sorry, and if I'm going to add a few students, so I'm going to add Lily, because that's my demo user. I'm also going to add Mark. Also got I've already got Alan as a teacher. So we'll leave it with those two students for now. So we've now got them. But at this moment in time, they cannot see this class. And as we go into the admin area, I'll explain why. But you can see down this left-hand side, we've got the English 101 that we've just created. It's within that inactive area. And that inactive means, you know what, I don't want students to see it at the moment, but it's there, ready. So when I've got everything prepared, I make it active, and then a couple of seconds later, it then appears in Microsoft Classroom for the other students to be able to complete that work on. So let's go in and we'll do some management on this. So we've got a bit more information here. As you can see, we can set a class name, we can give it a class number and different sections of here around the course. We can also say what the term name is and start date and finish date. We can give it a class description that appears. So we'll say this is the class. And that will appear, and you'll see that appear in the screen in a short while. We'll also change the colour. Let's make it orange. Let's give it a bit of a different one that's keeping fit. We've also got some standard images, and unfortunately we have to use these images that are here. There isn't an opportunity for us to upload these yet, but these are very similar to the ones if you've ever used with Delve. Same images, so you can kind of see that now appearing there. And what we'll do is we'll click on Activate. And that class will now, as you can see on this left hand side, has now been activated and is on that left hand side. Now it can take a while, it takes another couple of minutes for a SharePoint class, a SharePoint area and those document libraries to be created. So just for now, I'm going to go into this Pugh class that I created earlier on today. So I've already got one teacher and 3 students, as you can see on the right hand side there. I've activated the class, and I'm just going to give a bit of extra colour, just for a bit of fun, a bit nice kind of pink, purpley kind of design. I've got my 3 students, and I can click on that, and it goes back to that students area they are. So you'll notice that assignments, we've got calendar, conversations, class notebook, and files, and those kind of, when we go click on the calendar, the conversation, and the files, will take us through to that files section that we were talking about earlier on around the Office 365 group. But let's go into assignments. So I've already taken an assignment, I've assigned it to a few students, and that's where you can see it's in progress. It's due on the 1st of July at midnight. So they've got till this evening to be able to complete that work. But let's go through the process and create a new one. So a new assignment, so let's give this new assignment for today. And we'll say that it is due record on the 14th, and I want it done by 2 o'clock. I'll give it a bit of a brief description. Please complete this work on the 15th. And what you may notice here is we've got post to. We can actually post this to all our active classes that we've got at the same time. So if you're kind of doing the same thing, and you're going to go off and you want to give it to everybody else, you can do. So I'm actually just going to do it to this class for now. But we can also allow students to participate in this discussion. And we're going to go on to those features in a short while. But one of the things we haven't done, we haven't actually specified what the assignment is, the document or anything like that. So I'll click on attach, and the fly out window has appeared on the right hand side. So I can now go and attach either a link or a document. So we've got the My Device, so we can go and pull something from our PC. We can select a page for our OneNote. We haven't created that yet, but we'll come on to that in a short while. We can select from my OneDrive, my classes, so that's the file section within this Office 365 group. And then we can start doing links, web searches, and videos. And we'll go through for now, and we'll create a file, and then we'll go back and we'll do one of these links afterwards. So I'm just going to select a file, and I've got some stored in my OneDrive. So I've got just a blank file here, so I'm just going to this volcano starter quiz as it is. So I notice there's a little tick box underneath here that says make a copy for each student. So that's going to do that, so they will get their own assignments, and they can edit their own without reflecting and changing anybody else's. So I'm going to click on done. So over in this top right corner, if you can't see, we've got a little wheel going round, and it's just going off and it's submitting that work, and we should see it appear in this in progress page in a short while. Created the assignment, and there we go. So we've got that new assignment for today's lesson, which is due on July the 14th at 2 p.m. Just to point out, we've got you can see that there's one attachment. Nobody's turned it in yet, and it's great. It's a bit of American terminology with the turned in at the moment, but we'll see maybe how that changes as it kind of comes out in preview later on in the year for us. So let's get logged in as a student. So I've actually already got another browser open here, and I've logged in as Lily. I can see some of this work that she's already got, and I'm going to click on Classroom from the app launcher. And you can see those two assignments that are there. Now this is the assignment landing page. So if she had lots of classes and lots of assignments, they're all going to appear on this page. So let's go in and let's do that one for the 14th of July. So we've got the assignment name, we've got the due time, and we've also got that kind of description that I gave to say go off and complete this work. So please complete this work ready for this lesson on the 15th. And there is that document for me that I've done. And you notice it's actually added her name to the very end of that document. So when I click on this now, it's opened up a new tab for me, and it's gone off. And even though it's a blank document for now, we can actually see the document, and we can start editing it. So let's just add a bit of text in here for the purposes of the demo. So there we go, just added a bit of text. I can add some images should I want to as well. You can see just at the top there, it's saying saved. So the work is constantly being saved and updated. Now you might be wondering, well, where's this document saved? Well, what it's done is actually taking it to the student's OneDrive. So if I just take a copy of the URL here, I've actually got the URL for the student OneDrive. So it's not stored within the group file section, it's stored within the student's OneDrive. So and if I click back on Lily Jones here, this is what takes me to her OneDrive, or alternatively, we've got the ability to do that from the app launcher, OneDrive. And we can see, if I start from the root of here, we've got Classroom. We've got that Pugh Class 101, which is our class name. New assignment for today's lesson. So that's the folder based on the assignment name. And then we've got the piece of work that we've done on there. And as you can see, it has added her name on there. And at the moment, it's the only person who can see this piece of work is Lily, the student herself. so nobody else can actually get access to this, and also including the teacher. So she can't, or the teacher cannot access it at this moment in time. That will change once we're done a bit further in the demo. So we can go through, and I might have a bit of a problem with my assignment. So you can see on this right hand side we've got the ability to do a bit of conversations with the teacher. So I can say, "Hello sir, I'm stuck. Can you help?" And I can click on post, and that's going to start off a bit of a private conversation only within Classroom. So it's not a conversation within the public folder or anything like that between the teacher and the student. And that's why we had that ability to lock that down when we created the assignments. So I'm just going to jump back as the teacher. I'm going to go into this assignment, and I can click on submissions, and you'll see that Lily says it's in progress. And I was hoping to see down here the private conversation that was going on. Just make sure I did that in the right conversation. So the new assignments, as I said, it's in preview at the moment, so maybe that's not quite working, but it was before. Actually, I'll type one here and see if it goes back the other way. But that's kind of where a private conversation can go on between the students, and you can see an error has actually popped up at the top of the page there. So you can see it's still in preview. That's why it's not quite ready to go out yet. From a production point of view, let's just give that a quick refresh just to see if it loads. Go into submissions, loading. No, there seems to be a little bug in there for, as I said, in the preview. But we can have that private conversation that goes on there, but we can also have a class one, so everyone can participate in the class, and I'll show you again that button there. But I'm now back in as the student. I've completed my work. Let's say, you know what, I want the teacher to be able to see it. I'm going to click on turn in. It says, are you sure you want to turn in this assignment? So I'll click on OK. And it's now sending all the notifications it needs to through the software and through the web application to be able to say that this work is now being completed. And as you can see, that button on that right hand side has now said submitted. Jumping back into the class side here, and you can already see, and I've not had to refresh it, it's automatically done it. It says that Lily Jones has submitted her work, turned in at, and I got a bit of a time there. So I can go, oh, let's go and have a look at the work. So I click on this file, and it's gone off to look at the file within the student's OneDrive. So I've got access to this file within their OneDrive, and I can see that piece of work that's there. And I also have edit rights within this. So I can click on Edit Document, Edit in Browser. So I can go off and I can edit this document, or I might go, you know what, I want to leave a comment. I'll highlight that bit. I'll do review and I'll add a new comment saying, post that. So the way we can give a bit of feedback, and if you kind of started to use the pen at all within the screen and that kind of context with some of the latest updates that we're getting with Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, as well as obviously just with OneNote, we can actually start using our pen to leave notes using the full version of Word, which will also get saved up onto here for you to be able to like do ticks or any form of other kind of handwritten feedback that you want to give. So I'll just close that because I know that work's saved automatically for me. And I've decided, you know what, I don't want it to be out of 100, I want it to be out of 95. And I'm going to give her a score of 60. And I'm going to return that mark to her. So we can see that now it says returned, and it's there. I can also go off and I can resend it to her if I wanted to. So this work is now returned for her to do some additional changes to it. So I'm just going to jump back into the student, give it a bit of a refresh. If I go back into that piece of work, you should see that comment that's been added there, and if I click on that comment, you can see it says well done. So there's a nice bit of kind of co-authoring going on between the teacher and the student, and I'm going to say I'll tick that bit, and I've done that bit kind of thing, so the teacher can see that I've made those adjustments that they wanted to for the assignment. I'm going to resubmit it. Are you sure you want to send this assignment back? So we're doing a bit of to and froing if we wanted to. And there you go, it's kind of changed quite quickly there. She's now resubmitted it, and this time I'm going to give it a score of 65. I'm actually going to post the grade this time instead. And you can see that it's now graded, and I can also see that the other two haven't quite done this in the class as well. So going back to student, you can see that it's already refreshed. I can now see that I got a score of 60 out of 95. And of course I can go back into that work to be able to see if there are any further marks in there. That's kind of the simplest format it is really. It's taking those documents, creating one each version for each of the students, storing it in their OneDrive, and then being able to give them a grade out of a particular score. So there's different bits of feedback, and I'll show you a page where you can give feedback directly to Microsoft, saying, well, actually I want to be able to do more than just a number. I want to be able to do an A grade or a B, C. I want to be able to give it a pass merit distinction. So these are the kind of things I think Microsoft want to be able to hear, that, you know what, these people want these, the teachers want them, so let's kind of go off and hear that, and we'll go off and we'll build it. So the more we get people voting on them, and I'll show you that website shortly, the more chance we have of being able to get those features. So let's go back in as a teacher. I'll tell you what, actually, I'll just jump in and we'll have a see if there's any questions. Nothing yet. That's fine. Please feel free to ask questions. It's not a problem too. So let's go back into our Pugh class again. And what we'll do is we'll create a new assignment, and we'll take a link this time. So this is a link assignment. I want it to be done by 10 o'clock on Friday. And we're actually going to go off and get a video. So please watch this video. Again, I'm only going to send it off to the Pugh class. And I'm going to just try this button again just to see if I allow students to participate in the discussion, just to see if that feature will work this time around. But you can see it's quite easy for us to be able to turn that off. So we'll do attach, and this time we'll do a video search. So panels opened up a little bit further. I can now do it. So let's just see what comes up when I do Romeo and Juliet. So it's using Bing to go off and to search different videos. So we can actually see it's come up with almost full feature-length movies being about 2 hours long. So maybe I want them to watch the whole video, but you can see there's plenty there. As I was scrolling off the mouse there, it actually shows a bit of a preview for some of these videos. So let's just go for this one here and click on it, and off and give me a preview of that video. So I've selected that one. You can see there's a little tick just in this top right hand corner. One item selected. I'm going to click on attach. I'm going to say done. So this is now going off, and it's not creating a link or anything in OneDrive, so this is only going to be an assignment that is stored within Microsoft Classroom itself. So we've got that there, created the assignment, and we should see it appear on here shortly. There we go. So we've got this is a link assignment, this kind of thing it is. Just to point out, the one where we did the demo short while, you can see that it says one user's turned it in from when Lily did that. So we'll go into here, we can see the link, and there's our link to the video, and I'm obviously is the teacher at this moment in time. So let's jump over to the student, and I'm actually going to click on my Pugh class rather than going to the assignments at the very top, so I can see just my assignments that I've got for this class, and there's that link that's there. And you can see actually the conversation's been is unavailable at the moment. So there is no individual work for me, so let's go to resources instead, and I've now got, as you can see, a link for that Romeo and Juliet Acts 2. And it's gone off and it's pulled that video. In fact, it's been so good, it's actually embedded it to me in this site here. So I don't have to necessarily go off to the site to be able to watch that. It will embed our video here, our YouTube video, whichever it may well be, so then I can sit there and I can read it, watch it while I'm going through. And there's that link directly to the video, should I need it. So I've closed that. And I can also say I expect the teachers, the students to be able to turn around and say, you know what, when I've watched it, I want you to click on mark as complete. So Lily's now just turned around and said, right, this work is now completed. I've done this, I've watched it, it's all completed. So jumping back to the teacher, if I go to our assignments, you should see on this main page, when we navigate down, that this is the link assignment. We've got one person who's turned it in. And when I click on submissions, we can see that Lily Jones has done that. And if we want to give them a score out of 100 for completing that, they were more than welcome to, but just for the purposes, I'm going to give them a 1. And 1 out of 1 for watching that video. We're going to post the grade for them to be able to do it. So it's very simple for us to be able to go off and create this, create different work, add different links, whether that's just an external website. And as you can see, it's kind of building up a bit of a bar chart here for us around the different scores that people have got. So we can see, you know what, most of the class have got between 50 and 60% or anything like that. So kind of a slight gradebook feature, but only for this individual assignment. There is no kind of gradebook feature across the whole of the assignments for this class. So let's jump back into the slides for now. I don't know where that's gone. Never mind, we'll do it from here. So just moving on to school data sync. Now this kind of comes as part of Microsoft Classroom and kind of complements it. The idea is that we want it to be able to create all our classes for us. Why do we want to be able to sit there and create them each manually, add each individual student? So school data sync will take, as you can see from this left hand side, the school timetable, the students, the teachers from the MIS, move it into the identity area within Office 365, into that Azure Active Directory, and we'll go off and provision all those Office 365 groups and classrooms for us to be able to go off, and so the teacher logs in and sees all those classes. At the moment, this can only be done through a CSV file, so maybe an extract from Progresso, CMIS, Sims, or whichever solution that you're actually using. But effectively, we're making it a lot easier where the teachers don't have to create them. No UK providers have yet been announced around whether they're working on this or whether they will come out as part of release when we see this later on in the year, but I'm sure there'll be a few. People like ourselves, and as you can see on this very far right hand side for like Accelerated Maths, Edmodo, we can build on top of 365 groups and the classroom model. So we actually can build our own connectors. We can build all sorts of different things on top of our groups, on top of Office, on top of Microsoft Classroom, so we can actually give you more features. And that's kind of our benefit to us, is around this school data sync. And one of those, as an example, is the OneNote class notebook. So it doesn't go off and create this automatically for us, but then we have the ability to be able to create that. So let me just jump back into the demo and just demonstrate that to you. So I'm logged into my teacher, and you can see class notebook. Now, as one of the things we get as an Office 365 group, we also get a notebook. So what this is going to do, it's going to go off and provision a few different things. So as you can see here, it's going to create a collaboration space, a content library, and also a private area. So this is kind of, if you're used to the Microsoft OneNote class notebook, and maybe that's an opportunity for us to talk about maybe in September when we do our next call. We've got a collaboration space where teachers and students can all work on the same page and content at the same time. They've got a content area where the teacher can create and the students can only view. And then we've got a teacher only section that only the teacher can create work to, maybe before they send it to students into their private area or move it into the collaboration or the content area. And then each student also has their own private area. So I'm going to click on begin setup. I've decided, you know what, I want these 4 different areas within my section for each of my students. Would you like a private area for the teacher? Yes. And we're going to click on create. So this is going to go off and create that. So this is using kind of that technology of we know what the students are, we know what the teachers are, and we're going to go off and create things, we're going to create the permissions and that kind of thing. So fingers crossed it won't be too long until this is finished and ready. While it's doing that, let me just jump in and see if there's any questions there. Please do fire any questions through. The official word for release that I'm hearing at the moment is fall. So later on this year, from a UK perspective. So we'll wait to see if anything else comes of this before then, but officially at the moment it is fall. So our OneNote's now created, and I'm going to launch this, and it's going to launch it for me within the browser. Just taking its time. So we've got this section here, as you can see, around the OneNote class notebook, and we've got some brief information about what it actually is and the ways that we can use it. We've got that collaboration space. We've got that content area, so where students can't edit this content. We've got a teacher-only private section, and then actually we've also got 3 students within this class. So we've got Alan, we've got Lily, and we've got Mark. But they can only see their own area. So Mark wouldn't be able to see Lily in the same way that Lily can't see Alan or Mark. So it's a completely private area. But as I'm a teacher, I can actually go in and I can see all their different pieces of work. And there are lots of different add-ons to this to help with zooming around, showing the pronunciation of words, to setting different colour backgrounds, to help students who maybe have some kind of reading difficulties. So I think that's probably another session all in itself around what OneNote Class Notebook is. But if you are familiar around it, this is stored within the Office 365 group. So once those are all created, it's great. We can build on top of stuff in the same way that the OneNote Class Notebook does. So just jumping back to this slide, and a while ago you kind of saw this as the Office 365 group. And what we're doing here, and Microsoft are doing, is adding this layer of school data sync between Office 365 groups and creating those and creating the assignments in the Microsoft Classroom. And personally, I look forward to seeing which kind of providers make this available from a UK perspective. I'll come back onto that slide in a minute. But I mentioned earlier on about a website where you can get some and give some feedback around the Microsoft Classroom and other technologies. And that would be edu.uservoice.com. Now, UserVoice is a Microsoft website for people to be able to give feedback. And if you've ever got particular features you would like for Office 365 or OneNote or even Xbox, you can go to xbox.uservoice.com or OneDrive or Office 365. So as you can see here, there are some things that people are asking for. So teachers should be able to post an announcements, calendar event or assignment to a particular student instead of the whole class. So as you may well have realised, that is one of the things. We have to assign it to everybody, wherefore we may have students at different levels. And we've also got a bit of a knowledge base around Classroom for teachers, school data sync for teachers. So there's lots of different articles on here that you'll be able to do. So go in there, suggest ideas, say, I would like to be able to do this, or I don't want to call it turn-in. I want to be able to have it called something else. For example, one here, parents can view Classroom and OneNote. So there's lots of different options around what we can actually do here. But go in there, and as you can see, Microsoft has set some of these as under review. That means they're evaluating it. and saying, you know what, this is maybe something that we do want to be able to do. And I've seen other features within other user voices that have gone from under review to building to released in preview and then released to production. So they really do look at this and take those features on board and take it forward. The more votes, the more chance they have got to being able to do that work. So that's why I encourage people to go into here and be able to say vote. And I want to give this one 3 votes as an example. You get 10 votes today, so if you want to go back and vote for things a few times, you can do. Now, as I mentioned, this is something that we're going to do on a bi-monthly basis, but there is Alan Richards and myself. We host a bi-weekly podcast of all things that Microsoft are doing within the education space. So we talk from anything from Surface to Windows to Office 365, SharePoint, 365 groups, Classroom, Forms. There's lots of different stuff that's there. So go and visit the website, or if you've got iTunes, there's the actual podcast channel is available on there. So I'm just going to jump back and see if there are any questions. So if you do have any questions, do bring yourself off mute. Or type them in a way, and I'll do my best at answering them. There's a few people typing, which is good to see, rather than just being silence. So currently the best way to import the sims would be to doing a CSV. Do we know exactly we would need to export, exactly what we would need to export from sims? There is some documentation actually already out there to help us in the format that needs to be there. So if I just do a quick search for school data on their website here, under the deployment guide. So this is sis.microsoft.com. We've got some information around here around creating those CSV files and what format they need to be in. This will actually go off and create your students for you as well if you wanted it to. But as you can see here, we go through, we've got to go create a profile. We can link the students and the kind of the different fields that we've got within it. And we upload like a school one to say, well, we're this school, because there are some Office 365 tenants that have multiple schools within it. We then got the different sections, students, student enrolled, teachers, and the roster, a very American word for their classes, that does all that binding together of the students, of the teachers, to be able to go off and create those classes. So I'll just post that link for you into the chat window. I think somebody else typing, so I'm hoping that's another question just coming through. So this is to be that there is a thread in Sim support asking for a response. Could be good if people show their support. So let's click on this just to see what this brings up. Unfortunately, it seems to be a password area, but I'm assuming that's people, maybe Capita asking for people, is this the kind of feature that you want to be able to see? If so, then please go and kind of vote for it and show the support. Would that be right? I would ask you, yes, it is. Brilliant, that's good. Are there any other further questions? As I said, more than welcome to come off mute if you want to ask those. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just go on to the last couple of slides. I'm going to skip through all to number 20. So I mentioned, it's just letting me know that not everybody can see this yet. But there's the link again for that podcast if you wish to hear from it and to hear more of myself and Alan talking about some of those latest things that are going on. And just a quick thank you to Pugh and Chris and the guys there for arranging this call. I'm sure we'll see this grow over the next couple of months as we go along. If you've got any questions around Office 365, Azure, Azure subscriptions, or even the E5 license, maybe that's another thing that we talk about, how we can do telephony through Office 365, then please let either myself or any of the team and the guys at Pugh around those kind of questions, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. So if there aren't any other further questions, we'll finish the call there, and do get in touch if you have anything in the future. I see one person typing quickly. Is that a goodbye, or is that a question? It seems to have disappeared. So we'll leave it there, and thank you very much for attending, and hopefully we'll see you again at the next one.